The Epic of Gilgamesh is a poem about the legendary Sumerian king of Uruk. It dates back almost 4,000 years and is one of humanity's oldest recorded poems, not to mention the first Bromance ever written. It's the tale of Gilgamesh, an arrogant, callow youth whose actions make him a bad king. Gilgamesh finds redemption through his friendship with the wild man Enkidu. He begins to understand his true nature and so becomes a better man and a much respected and beloved king. The action in the first part of this epic tale takes place in two very different locations. The first is Uruk, a city in what is today southern Iraq, with its magnificent ziggurat, its temples to the gods, its refined and civilized living. The second location is very different. It's the wilderness, the domain of wild animals, forests, and natural life. At the beginning of our story, our hero Gilgamesh is a cocky, callow, selfish youth who's also a bully. He's also the handsomest, strongest, and most powerful man in the world, his mother being the goddess Ninsun and his father Lugalbanda, the previous king of Uruk. In other words, Gilgamesh, who is godlike in body and mind, begins his kingship as a cruel despot, lording it over his subjects. Gilgamesh's lists of bad behavior include what is known as the rights of the king. Basically, this means that Gilgamesh, as king, can forcibly exert his power and take for his sexual gratification the daughters and wives of his subjects. And for good measure, he makes all the young men in Uruk engage in useless activity just for his pleasure. Fed up with their brash young king, the people of Uruk beg their gods for help. The gods answer, and this is where Enkidu enters our tale. When we first meet him, Enkidu's just been created by the goddess Aruru and placed in the wilderness. Aruru makes Enkidu 1/3 human and 2/3 beast, which is a perfect foil for Gilgamesh, who is 1/3 human but 2/3 god. Enkidu is completely uncivilized. He's hairy, wears wild animal skins, eats grass, lives with the animals. He symbolizes the natural, non-civilized world, whereas Gilgamesh symbolizes the civilized world and its corrupting influences. In the forest, Enkidu runs wild and terrifies people. Hearing about this, Gilgamesh asks the temple priestess Shamhat to seduce Enkidu and introduce him to the pleasures of the flesh. After 6 days and 7 nights with Shamhat, Enkidu soon forgets his wilder nature and finds that his mind has been opened to human life. One day, Shamhat complains to Enkidu about Gilgamesh's bad behavior. Enkidu realizes Gilgamesh may need a friend, so he travels to Uruk to challenge him. In Uruk, Enkidu plans to stop Gilgamesh from sleeping with a new bride, so he bars the bedchamber. Gilgamesh arrives and the two start an epic wrestling match, which Gilgamesh wins. Enkidu concedes defeat, the two embrace, becoming fast friends. If you think bromance is a modern invention, you'd be mistaken. The friendship between Enkidu and Gilgamesh is based on great loyalty and trust. When one of these BFFs shows weakness, the other reinforces fearlessness and togetherness. But even the best of friends can make mistakes, causing disaster, tragedy, and death. Next time, join us to find out what happens to our intrepid heroes. They travel to the sacred cedar forest and confront the demon, Humbaba.